What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and we're back. Couple days left of the transfer window, people, but we're back for some more transfer talk. Much of the same links, but there's a bit of new information in regards to some of these players. And there's one that it just sticks out in my head for so many reasons as to why, if one deal falls through, then we should absolutely go all in for somebody else. Before we get into it, though, people, please like, subscribe, and of course, drop your comments and thoughts below. Thank you to Parrot House, Mr. P, and William Morrison for the super thanks on the last video, guys. Always appreciate for the support. Thank you so much. And listen, Wilf in the house. Come on, guys. While you're waiting, smash like. It's free. It's free, and that comes courtesy of Wilf, who is a member of the channel. If you want to become a member, link is in the description or is next to the subscribe button called join, which just goes a long way in helping me out and helping the channel out. Now, tomorrow, even though we are coming down to the last 2 days of the window, I am going to be mobile tomorrow, so I'm going to be out and about. But if anything big breaks, like we have put in an unbelievable offer for Gus Hamer, I will take my portable mic and I will record somewhere. I'll find a corner and I will bring an update to you. I'll guarantee I will do that. So yeah, I'll be in different settings tomorrow. But look, the big day, of course, is the Friday transfer deadline day, and I will be back for that. And anything that happens, we will be here. And a transfer deadline show, of course, we love those. We love those. And then it's all about the squad there. They will be the ones responsible for getting the points accumulated to get this great club promotion. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Ryan here saying, what's your gut feeling, KG? How many do you think we'll get? I will say, Ryan, at this point, I have a feeling, don't quote me on this, but maybe 2. I think we will get a fullback in, and I think it will be 10, possibly, with the news of Sallai today, which we'll talk about. But I would say 2. I think if we were just to, maybe Tanaka as well. Yeah. If we were just to get Tanaka, though, that would be, I mean, we'll speak about it in our transfer rating video, but that would be very disappointing. I will say very, very disappointing if it's just him. And shout out to you, Ryan. Listen, Craig here saying, just think all those people saying 18 million is too much money per. Oh man, Craig, punctuation, man. Right. Let me do this. Just think all those people saying 18 million is too much money. Personally, Hamer will get us promoted and think 18 million is nothing with promotion. Get the deal done, please. And yeah, Craig, we will talk about that in a bit. Earthmail saying another 3 kg units, a good window. Well, see, yes, another 3 Earthmail, but it depends on the positions. Because if we then, let's just say we get 2 midfielders and another winger. For me, that's not, because we don't need another 2 midfielders and a winger. We need a fullback. So if we don't address all the positional needs, then that goes down in my rating. Of course it does. You've got to, there's no point adding players upon players just for one particular position. You have to spread the wealth around. And at the moment, we are light as a fullback. We are. All it will take is one of those guys to go out, then expecting Byram to play week after week. We know he can't do it. So yeah, we will need to get a fullback in that number for me. That's just me personally. And Matt saying can't see us splashing 18 Farmer. We'll speak about it in a bit. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to the Gus Hamer section because it's going to be probably the main event of the show, which is why he's the thumbnail today. But listen, just a little bit of news here. I think Carl Darlow is doing a sneaky one here. I think he's trying to claim the #1 spot because he's now declared himself for Wales. I think Wales have tried for him before, but he's now going to be in the Wales squad. Now, whether he plays or not, I don't know, but he knows Daniel Farke. You know, he's probably looking at Daniel saying, oh, Carl, I had no idea you were Welsh Steel. You're my #1. You know, you never know. You never know. But salute to Carl Darlow and good luck to you and the rest of the Welsh boys in the squad, of course. But look, of course, we're here for transfer news. And this is the latest in terms of who do we go for first? Let's talk about Sallai first. Let's talk about Sallai. David Anderson of the Mirror give this big old update for Leeds today. Leeds want Dusseldorf's Ao Tanaka after Sheffield United rejected their 13 million offer for Gus Hamer, and Bournemouth's Philip Billing said he would not drop down to the Championship. Leeds are also keen on Freiburg's Roland Sallai, but a deal is unlikely. And the reason why it's unlikely, people, at this stage anyway, of course, anything can change, is that, and this is according to a lot of the Hungarian side, is that Hertha Berlin decided to keep a player that they would have replaced Sallai with. So until they get a replacement, they are not willing to sanction his move. According to all the Hungarian side, though, he does actually want to move to England, and he's very interested in the Leeds project. But until they get a replacement, people, it doesn't look likely that he's going to go anywhere. So I guess we're looking at Freiburg and seeing what they do in the meantime to see if this deal can be resurrected. But if not, I would say take that money, add to it, and go get the next man. Okay. But seeing as we mentioned Tanaka, let me just get Tanaka's thing up. He was out of training today, not on strike, but just for protection for a possible move. It seems that we have actually put in the offer to get him in, which of course is like the 2.65 million, which is obviously, it's still decent money, but it's a doable deal, and he seems very keen on the move. So it looks like Ao Tanaka could be coming in, and for me with Tanaka, he comes in as a rotation piece that more than likely displaces Gruev if he plays the way that he's played in the German second division, if he brings those attributes to the team. Because yes, he can play in the double pivot, but he's definitely more advanced than Gruev is. And I think that may interest Farke. And obviously, I know it sounds dumb, but we've heard Farke say it, but because he's a permanent player, I think he would probably take priority over Joe Rothwell at this stage as well. So it will be interesting to see. I guess we'll find out when that is all done and dusted, and we'll come back to Ao Tanaka. But who is next? Who is next? Oh, yeah. Graham Smith as well. I know the Philip Billing stuff was going around, but I wanted to, hear it from somebody a little bit more credible. But Graham Smith today, he said that at this point, anything could change, which is, you have to preface that with everything, people. Everything you have to preface that. I've already put in the description that this video could be old in 10 minutes, because that's just how quickly everything changes during the transfer window, especially towards the latter end of it. But Philip Billing looks like a no-go. Leeds United did make contact. Iriola has spoken about the midfielder now, and he just predicts Tanaka a fullback and another 10. But look, with the Philip Billing thing, it's just a case of him not wanting to drop to the championship, which I completely get, because he's got no business being in the championship. Much like Sallai, he's got no business being there. Philip Billing is somebody I spoke about a couple of years ago, and I thought he would be absolutely brilliant for Leeds United to get, but obviously we were just not shopping in that kind of market. But it seems like he may be getting another chance at Bournemouth, or if he is to move, it's going to be another top flight club, and that's what his talent deserves anyway, in terms of Philip Billing. So there you go with that one. But yeah, listen, people, the main one I'll speak about, let me just cross off a few of these windows, man. Let me get these things in order. What's going on here? Right, let's talk about Gustavo Hamer, because Chris Wilder did talk about it. And you know what the most interesting thing about Gus Hamer is, and Sheffield United, Chris Wilder in particular, it's not a case of that he's not for sale. It's not that we won't sell him to Leeds. It's that Leeds have not put in a bid that is near good enough, which I don't find interesting, but I find it interesting in a way that it's on Gus Hamer's side. It does seem like the player would love the move, and that Sheffield United is saying, well, you've got to come in and pay the money, which is fair enough. I just thought that there would be a complete no-go with selling to Leeds United, but it seems like if Leeds put down the right money, then he's available. And listen, let me just say what Wilder said. I think it was after the game against Barnsley, which they lost, by the way, which means Sheffield United haven't won in 3 games, so look out for that. But Wilder said this, and I did actually see him say it, so it's not just a made-up quote. I don't know if they'll make another bid. I really don't know what they're thinking. Everyone knows what the bid is. They've brought in 120 million and trying to nick our best player for what the bid is. I don't know what it was supposed to do, but it hasn't done anything, and it hasn't from Gus's point of view. And listen, people trying to tell me how transfers work, me, big cage, one of those. Well, you don't just bid the offer that they expect, you've got to go in low. But what some people don't understand is if you go too low, you can pee the club off and they won't deal with you. They'll just say, now you've taken the mick. You know what I mean? Perfect example, people. Liverpool, Arsenal with the Luis Suarez thing. Remember that whole debacle, 40 million and £1? And then Arsenal were trying after, and Liverpool said, absolutely not. You know what I mean? And you can do that. So with Hamer, with them paying 15 million and the clauses, any clause that you want has expired, to put in a 13 million bid and then not go back, for me, is poor from Leeds United. I don't blame Sheffield United for feeling the way that they do. we should be doing better. But what I'm saying, people, Cage knows, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying in terms of this now, if Sallai is off the table, if we cannot get him, which is a blow because he would be the steal of the window for me, then use the money that you're going to spend on Sallai. And if you were going to pick out one of the two, Harmer or Sallai, put all your focus on this. And 18 million people is an absolute bargain for this player. And once again, for people with the resale thing, we don't need him to be a resale. He'll be good for us now and in the Premier League. And let me just show you in terms of his Premier League. These are just basic stats here. These aren't his underlines. These aren't his chances created. I believe he created 70 chances for Sheffield United last season. But the fact that he's still in 36 games for that football club, put up 4 goals and 6 assists, 10 goal involvements for the second worst team of Premier League history, it should tell you that there is a player there that can help you at that level. So not only are you investing 18 million to get promoted, which then is chump change once you're in the Premier League and you're getting 200 million and all the other riches that come into it, you are getting a Premier League ready player that then you don't have to then spend next summer 50, 60 million on somebody else. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, but it all depends on how serious Leeds go back in. And just judging by, I know Popey says it doesn't sound like we're getting another another bid in for Harmer, but I take that with a pinch of salt because from Chris Wilder, the way that he was talking, it sounds like it's not completely closed. If it was closed, I think Chris Wilder would have been a bit more definitive with his words, but he left it quite open. He said the bid was nowhere near enough, which is not inviting another one, but it's saying that there could be another bid coming through. Um, Yeah, exactly, Craig. Harmer class championship player and also Prem ready. It's a no-brainer. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. Listen, and that's me as a fan, though. I don't know what our finances are saying. I don't know how much we've got to play with. But for me, if you're going to bid 9 million for Sallai, 13 for Harmer, maybe you were going to choose one of the two, but you get more funds in and get the deal done. This is a player that bumps someone down to the bench in our team, and that just makes our bench stronger and our first 11 even stronger than it is right now, which is pretty good. But you get a Gus Hamer in the team, man, you're cooking. You're cooking, man. What's people saying, man? What's people saying? Daryl here. I think they leave the Sallai deal and go all in for Harmer. I think it could go to the wire with her. I absolutely hope so, Daryl. One thing I've already said, and it will go in my transfer rating as well. If we have literally just bid 13 million for him and not gone back in, I'm marking that down because that's poor practice. And I just think of Leeds United fans. Imagine if we had a bid from someone like a 10 million bid for Nanto, and they just try to unsettle him, people would be absolutely fuming. And I completely get it from that side. I know the whole joke about what riling Chris Wilder up as small victories for people, but for me, I'm too much of a long term thinker for that, and I always think of the opposite effect. In that, if we have just made this one bid, it makes Chris Wilder even more determined, makes Gus Hamer more determined to, get Sheffield United up. And I can see him like banging 2 past us and just absolutely going mental. I always think of that side because let's face it, apart from Derby, but even now Derby are back in the same league. Everyone else that we've had a laugh on has had the last laugh, whether it be Brighton, with the whole Ben White thing, whether it be Man United for various things. We've been, we end up being the butt of the joke. Whether it Brentford, another one, mind the gap, Thomas Frank. Well, look how it's working out for us. Our little victories in that way just don't go well for us. So I would prefer to get Harmer and then have a full laugh. So I'm not squashing anyone's fun, but I'm saying the fun isn't there until completion, and I do want it. I really do want him, and not just because he's from Sheffield United, it's because I've seen him play so many times, and I know he will make a difference in this team. Set pieces, open play, goals from midfield, assists, creativity. He gets back, he does all that dog work in the midfield as well. He's worth the investment, 49ers. Go back in. Paul here. 18 mil is nothing if we go up. It's peanuts. And it's much like the Burnley one with Jaden Anthony. We know that's a bad deal. And I'm sure even Burnley know that's a bad deal, that if they go up, they have to pay Bournemouth 10 mil. But in light of that, they know that 10 million, I don't know how it's going to be paid. It's small potatoes for going back up. It's small potatoes. I know 18 million seems very heavy, but you also have to account in that there is a rival tax. There's also same division tax, and I'm willing to pay that. Absolutely willing to pay that. Obviously, James, that would be the dream, to get both. Then we're absolutely laughing. I probably stream for about 5 hours that day. But yeah, if we can only get the one, please do your best to go. And for me, if you get in Ao Tanaka in, and that's your midfielder, that's very, very underwhelming for me. And I think he'll be good. I do think he'll be good, but he's not the game changer that one of those two men are, in Sallai or Hamer in particular. Um, yeah, McAllister here. 18 million could be broken down to promotion bonus as well. It will also weaken Sheffield United and the wind up Wilder thing. Yeah. But in terms of the first bit, yeah, I mean, look, there's ways to get to the 18 million. Now, whether Sheffield United would accept that is another question. But do your best, please. Please. You're talking about the now and future of Leeds United, and that is what you're getting. That's what you're getting right there in the second worst team in Premier League history for me. I would say first, but Derby have got that spot. Let's be real. um, at least he's Leeds. He's not Argentinian, my man. He was born in Brazil, and I think he's got Dutch roots as well. Deshaun saying here, Harmer would drastically improve my transfer window rating. Yeah. Oh, Deshaun, it would put on a few points for me. I don't know where we are right now. I haven't really thought about it in terms of the overall score as it is right now. I have to wait until it's completed. But yeah, you sign someone like Harmer, then it's definitely a better rating. Of course it is. But yeah, listen, people, we'll see if there's another update in regards to that. But I just wanted to get my thoughts out there and keep it in the atmosphere. Leeds United, go get Gustavo Harmer. Now, another player that's been linked, and we was talking about this yesterday, weren't we? Don't take your eyes off the fullbacks. And the Dutch media today, in particular, have linked Owen Wijndal to Leeds United. He's been linked to a whole host of other clubs. I think Sociedad, Galatasaray. But according to Dutch sources, Wijndal wants a Leeds United move. Now, again, Graham Smith has said that he's asked about it and said it's unlikely. But then again, they told Graham Smith that Archie Gray is going to Brentford, or is not going to Brentford. Then look what happened there. So with that, I think you just have to be careful with that, because I think whoever's his contact is will always still try and keep these things close to their chest from their side as much as possible. But if we are to get in a left back, Owen Wijndal, I remember him at AC, and he seemed to be a real good prospect, but it just hasn't worked out for him at Ajax. And he's still a young guy, man. He's still only 24 years old. But he was on loan somewhere. Let me see where he was on loan. Who was it? Antwerp. Yeah, he got loaned to the Belgian Pro League, which is really weird. I'm not sure why it hasn't worked out for him at Ajax. But if he's to come to the championship, and it looks like it looks like Ajax do want a permanent deal, but it looks like they may accept a loan with view to a permanent move. That would be a good move. That could be a good move. I have no idea why it hasn't worked out, Ajax. So don't know what the problem's been there. But at AZ, he was brilliant at AZ. He was brilliant. So if we are looking to get a player like this, that improves my rating too, just because we are filling in a need, and it's an out and out left back. It's not a centre back that can play left back. It's not a right back that needs to go to left back. He's an out and out fullback. So, and he will give Junior Firpo some good competition down that side as well. Daryl asking, is he any good? He was good, Daryl. And I guess that's dangerous from me to say that, but he was good. But I would assume, though, if Leeds United are going in for him again, or if he's available, they will have done their due diligence on anything that could have gone wrong at Ajax and just wondered or questioned it. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of why it hasn't worked out for him there, because he's a full Dutch international, people. So, he was getting caps before, but for whatever reason, since he's moved to Ajax, the move just hasn't worked out for him. And that can happen in football. We know that has happened in football. It's happened at our club as well. But it doesn't mean they're a bad player. But I think at championship level too, I think his tech, the way that he gets up and down, or the way he used to when I saw him anyway, with the way he gets up and down would be good for Leeds United. Now, another one that I've spoken about before, Josh Doig. I've not seen any links with him in terms of him going out. He's still playing. He's actually playing Serie B football. No, I don't think he's leaving. It looks like he's going to stay at Sassuolo for the season, because there hasn't been one team that's bid for him, which is crazy to me. I saw Lazio were in for him around May time, but it looks like he's going to stay there. He would be my first choice, as you guys know, but it doesn't look like we're going down that road. But yeah, let's have a look there. So Owen Wijndal, look out for that one, and let's see if there's any more news. Obviously, you got Graham on our side saying no, but all the Dutch outlets are saying that it's a possibility. Now, just on Rival Watch, and it kind of goes into our team as well. Is Burnley. You know, we've been speaking about Burnley. Look, I know Luton are losing the defender, but I don't. I've said it from the start. I don't see Luton as challengers. I know a few of you do, and shout out to you, but I just don't see Luton as a team. I think they are. They're this season's Huddersfield. I think when Huddersfield got relegated, you know, Huddersfield are where they belong now. You know, and I'm sure that will delight Huddersfield fans. But Luton, for me, weren't going to be a threat this year, and I still don't think they will. And I will stand on that. But Burnley have submitted a formal bid to Plymouth to sign Morgan Whittaker, which would be a fantastic signing for Burnley if they can get that done. No doubt about it. Morgan Whittaker at this level is a very, very good talent. Now, the reason why I link this back into us is because if we are to sign a Gustavo Hamer or someone of that ilk, for me, the perfect loan spot for Joe Gelhardt is at Plymouth under Wayne Rooney. Now, we remember Joe Gelhardt has been talked about as when he was younger anyway, not obviously not so much over the last couple of years. He's been talked about being like a Wayne Rooney just because of his size, you know, he does get stucky as the season goes on as well, Joe Gelhardt. And who better to learn under than Wayne Rooney as his coach, as to be a forward, to be a striker. So if they do lose Whittaker, I mean, whether they could then put some money towards a permanent move, because I think at this stage for Joe Gelhardt, that he needs to go permanently for me. It's just not he's just not getting enough football here, and you know the stocks are down. Let's be real. So if we can get a permanent move for him, I think Plymouth will be a perfect landing spot for for Joe Gelhardt. That's what I think, man. That's what I think. Gavin saying Plymouth have turned. Oh, okay. So they've turned it down. So there's been an update. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. These videos they age like milk. Okay, but there we go. Gavin has given me an up to date. Plymouth have done now 10 million, but maybe Burnley will go back in again. Paul saying Plymouth won Gelhardt. I haven't seen that, Paul, but I'll take your word for it. And yeah, listen, still no news on Verba's possible loan. So again, if there's any other news on that when it happens, we'll talk about it then. Oh, Jack saying it was a loan with an option, apparently. Oh, they were never gonna get that. Well, no wonder they rejected it then. They probably put in a loan with an option if they get promoted or something, or upon promotion. That yeah, Plymouth don't have to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, listen, I'm just putting it out in the scenario anyway. If they do decide to get serious about Morgan Whittaker and sign him, Joe Gelhardt, Plymouth, just makes too much sense for me. Tamsterman saying, good shout. Can't help feeling we've let Gelhardt down. Ooh, that's loaded, Tamsterman, for a quick transfer video. What I would say in that is that there were definitely, and I don't rewrite history on this channel, so I will say what I said then. There were times when Joe Gelhardt should have played more football for us. There should have been, with the options that we had at the time, which weren't many, he should have been the man up front for us, because in the time that he was playing, he was impressing in spurts, got a few vital goals. And I remember that one game in particular where I just felt he was the missing piece against Newcastle at home. Should have played up front. He didn't play him, and we lose that game 1-0. And that's not just because Joe Gelhardt didn't play. That was for a whole host of reasons. But at the same time as well, Tamster man, with Gelhardt at times, has the hunger been there to be more successful? You know, sometimes he starts the season as well, by the way. This really doesn't get spoken about enough for me. But he starts the season looking in great shape, or in good shape. But as the season goes on, he starts to look a little, you know, bit more rounded, shall we say. Not even fat, but he doesn't keep the same shape through the season. So is it a mix of both missed opportunity by Leeds United and also lack of application by Joe Gelhardt? You know, it could be a mix of the two, and that's just me putting it out there. That's just my opinion, of course, but that's, you know, that's just me talking. No one's fed me that or nothing like that. Just gotta make that clear. Chris saying this, and this is not true, Chris. Hard though, isn't it, to keep tip-top condition when you're not even getting any minutes? No, it's not, Chris. Look around, Chris. Look outside of just Leeds United, friend. Look outside of just Leeds United. There's plenty of players that don't get played regular football, that don't get regular football, and they're in great shape. They're in good tip-top shape. They may not be match fit, which is a completely different kind of fitness in terms of just looking shredded, looking great. If you're not match fit, that is a completely different kind of fitness, but they still keep themselves in shape through the season. So no, that's just not the case. BMG saying, I agree, we've let Jaffe down a bit. In Marsh's full season, he could have been used off the bench more. Maybe he's not putting in the effort. Who knows? Exactly, BMG. It's all guesswork. It's all guesswork. And I'm not asking anybody at the club about that. Absolutely not in terms of that. So I'm just going to keep it a guesswork for me as well, man. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. That's literally just being a professional. Exactly. That's why they get paid so much, because they do things that other people just can't do. You know what I mean? If every football player who wasn't playing decided just to not put any effort in training or slack off their diet, you'd be seeing some madness on a football pitch. Let me just say that. But look, people, we'll end it there. I like to try and keep these around 20 minutes, gone 5 minutes over, but it's all good, people. It's all good. Look, people, if you haven't already, please like the video. There's a lot of you in the building. Put your comments below on anything discussed, especially about the Gus Hamer thing. I'm really interested to get your opinions on that. Do you think 18 is too much, or do you think it's worth the investment for now and the future? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed as well, people, and I'll see you in the next video, whether it's tonight if there anything major happens, or tomorrow when I'm on the move around the place. So see you in a bit, people. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.